Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins here. We're with the legends, Jim Goodall. Hey Jim, how you doing today?
Doing good.
Good to see you. And FBI retired agent John DeSouza. Man, it's great to be here in Arizona. We're going to be talking about some things. This is a Third Phase of Moon special episode, so buckle up everybody. Guys, let's just get it started. Let's talk about what we've been hearing a little bit earlier today, John. You're talking in regards to some plagiarism or somebody taking your statements recent, kind of a bigwig in ufology. Let's get with that.
Yeah, I was just watching an interview with Tom DeLonge with one of his buddies, and it was pretty recent, and it sounded like he was basically reciting the first 20 pages of my book, The Extra Dimensionals. He basically said stuff I've never heard anybody in this group say before. He said aliens are not physical. They are not getting in spaceships and sailing across space. They're not coming from space. They're not coming from other planets. They're coming through portals. All of this area is all about portals and wormholes. It has nothing to do with locking yourself in tin cans and sailing across space. That's something humans would do, maybe, but aliens do not do that. They travel here individually. They come through wormholes, portals, and the UFOs, the authentic ones, do the exact same thing. They also travel separately from alien visitors, and they come through wormholes and through these portals that we know about now as well.
Well, it's interesting to note, like the guy to the Stars Academy, DeLonge, that he's actually has a lack of kind of material that he could come up with his own kind of statements, where he has to go to your book, basically plagiarize what you're saying and putting it out there like he's the one that's coming up and has this kind of knowledge in regards to this. Sad statements what we're hearing from Tom DeLonge in regards to coming up with his own material. To the Stars Academy hasn't been doing much over the years, as we've seen. Mm-hmm. What have you seen as of recent in regards to some of these people that are supposed into disclosure? Are they doing a good job out there?
No, I've always been a pretty good at judging someone's character, and there's a couple of the ones that are always in the spotlight. There's something there's something amiss. There's something that just does not compute, and it drives me nuts. And these this is Lou, this is Nick, and a few other people out there, and they're getting all the exposure. Why are they getting exposure, and people like John and the Cousin Brothers and other people out there aren't? So I think they're a plant. I think they're working against us. And I will do everything I can to open people's eyes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, it's tough out there. We try our best to get the public to come forth and bring their information to us. And recently I had, it was refreshing that I spoke with Congressman Tim Burchard from Knoxville, Tennessee. And that was quite exciting. 47 minutes I was able to ask him any question I wanted. And it was quite engaging when you have a politician come forward and speak in this kind of dialogue. It's the first I've ever actually seen a politician speak like this. What is your thoughts on Tim Burchard and his bigger picture of it all?
I think that Tim Burchard interview with Congressman Tim Burchard was amazing, and there's nothing else out there like it. I have not seen another politician be that candid about what he does know and what he doesn't know. But like at the beginning of the interview, it started out with Tim Burchard doesn't really know very much at all. But as you kept working with him, as you kept pressing, I mean, it was amazing what he did know. I mean, he knew that these UAPs, these Tic Tacs, are not working with Russia. They're not working with China. And he said he feels they're not working with the United States either. And he says, so basically, if those three superpowers are not doing it, he says, then that means somebody else is doing it. But he didn't say who, except by the end he said, but corporate skunk works companies are probably responsible for a lot of this reverse engineering and what's happening to produce the UAPs and the Tic Tacs. That was by itself was worth the price of admission right there. I mean, that's amazing that he said that.
Last June, when I was at the Skunk Works, Lockheed Skunk Works, doing a book signing, I had as a captive audience Jeff Babion, who's since retired, and I'm this far away from him in the vehicle. We're in a limo going over the U2 operation, and I asked him. I said, "All right, Jeff," I said, "how much alien technology is being used in Skunkworks products?" And he didn't jump back like he was surprised, but he was pretty well straightforward, and he said, "I have absolutely no knowledge." He said, "Doesn't mean it didn't happen before I got here." He said, "But my job is to look to the future, not look to the past." But I did, I figured it was the only opportunity I was going to have, was going to ask the head skunk how much UFO technology is being used in some of your programs. And he told me that he wasn't aware of any. Doesn't mean it didn't happen, but he wasn't aware of any.
It's interesting because if there are people privy to this black budget, high meta propulsion that most people in common day aren't aware of, and only a few people on this planet are privy to this meta propulsion. Tim Burchard said we need a whistleblower, but right now there is no kind of immunity for a whistleblower to come forward, and they'd risk prosecution. Do we need another like Edward Snowden now?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
And I think it's the person's just right around the corner. Now I have a friend. I won't mention the name, but when the announcement came from from Tucker Carlson or whatever, I sent an email to the person, and they work for the NSA. I said, "Do you believe in UFOs?" And I got an instant reply. "Why? Did you see one?" I said, "No." He said, "Can't comment on this platform, but they're here." Now, when I'm in Hawaii in October, there's an island in between you and us, and that's where that person is. And I'm going to sit down and see if they'll do something on
Fantastic. Yeah, more sources, more whistleblowers. Right now, do you think anybody's brave enough to be like Edward Snowden to blow it wide open?
The last time I was at a skunk works company, I was there as an FBI agent because they had opened up a full-blown investigation against one of their own employees because they felt he was sharing too much, and they felt like he was getting unstable. So it's really hard. I mean, Tim Burchard said, Congressman Tim Burchard said, he doesn't want to end up in somebody's refrigerator for some reason, or the freezer. I think he said freezer. And so, I don't want a real whistleblower, a true, genuine one, to end up in that freezer either, So I have a very a touchy sort of relationship with whistleblowers. Most of them are fake. Most of them are generated. They're fake to take your attention, say, "Hey, look at me, don't look over there, look at me." But the ones that are genuine, and I have known some that are genuine, they go through some incredible suffering. I mean, incredible suffering. Not just losing their jobs, but a lot of other stuff too. So it's hard to get this done with whistleblowers. And I think even Tim Burchard knows that too.
Yeah, he did mention that. It's interesting. Let's just say, like, one of these whistleblowers were able to film with their iPhone some meta propulsion craft defying the laws of physics, or seemingly to defy the laws of physics, and they snuck that video over to Third Phase of Moon, and we put it out there. I know you guys aren't constitutional lawyers, but would we, as an independent journalistic YouTube channel, be able to put that video out without ramifications and keep our source secret, as journalists have this right in the United States to do so?
You always have the right to put out whatever you've got. That shouldn't be any repercussions for that. It doesn't violate the Secrecy Act or anything of that sort. But you won't have a fundamental right to keep your source's identity a secret. That you're not going to get that, because any judge can order that revealed at any time. So there's really no way around that. And the whistleblowers know that too. They do. That's why it's hard to get them.
It's crazy. I hope one of these days, either way, we'll put it out there. Somebody brings us some material, as some people say. Actually, Tim Burchard said that they were examining some material uncovered, but they didn't know exactly how it was made, Why can't we see this material, in your opinion?
Well, I think one of the reasons why the general public's not seeing it is because controlling the information is power, and you have a sense of power that nobody else has. You're controlling something that is literally extraterrestrial. It's literally out of this world, and that's a very, very intoxicating feeling. I mean, I know, there's security guys in the military that they said, yeah, I have this guy right here because I control his clearance. And if he doesn't do what I want, doesn't do what I say, all I have to do is get rid of his clearance, and he doesn't have a job. I mean, he may have spent his or her may have spent his entire life, working in the classified environment. That's all that person knows. That's everything about him has been in the black world, and all of a sudden they pull his clearance and he's a nobody. And the industry that the person was in now is going to look at that person as a scourge, as a lowlife, you just violated a secret oath. And that part bothers me, to a degree. I mean, I had a top secret clearance for 27 years. I never got a chance to really use it the way I wanted to, but it's it's something that's very, very important to people in that industry. And if you go and do something that's going to give you or it a bad name, it's a small enough community that you're screwed. You're screwed.
It's a small world, especially in this tight-knit community of whistleblowers and special access to these black budgets. It's interesting too because NASA has gotten into the UFO race recently. They've admitted that they're going to participate in trying to figure out what this UFO UAP phenomenon is. It's crazy because we have hundreds and hundreds of videos from NASA themselves that show UAPs, and they're not reaching out to us. Or should we reach out to them and go, hey, look, here's the footage. Let's start here.
Yeah, I don't think you want to be consultants to them, Blake. Don't do it. Don't do it. But NASA, we always used to call it never a straight answer.
That's right.
The more popular name now is not a space agency. Not a space agency. Because they are in the business of producing nothing but deception. That's all I see from them. Everywhere I look, their material. So I don't trust. As soon as NASA says it, I have to look at it twice, and I don't really believe what they're saying most of the time. That's just the way I feel based on what they've done up to now.
Congressman Tim Burchard said he could help us out after my interview with him. He says he could be a conduit for some of the video evidence that we received. What do you think? Is NASA going to be transparent if they discover anything or go back into their archives?
No. I mean, NASA, they haven't produced anything other than a couple of space shuttles that have crashed and burned. The Apollo 13, that was a fiasco. I don't trust anything in the federal government. I mean, if they're associated with the feds, then they have an agenda, and the agenda isn't to benefit the population of the U.S. I think it's to benefit them, whoever they may be. There's just too many inconsistencies, too many lies, too many doublespeak. So no, I don't trust NASA. Right.
It's interesting. Yeah, NASA, they've got a lot of explaining to do, I always say, and they really don't come back with any information in regards to some of the evidence that we put out to the public. They're kind of stay mum on it. That being said, we are working on our trilogy to Countdown to Disclosure and Above Top Secret. We're here with you guys right now, and we're doing some shooting a little earlier for our next film to Above Top Secret. But we're kind of going over certain things in today's interview we had with John, and we're speaking about it a little earlier with Jim as well. But let's look at the bigger picture. Elon Musk, right? He has a lot of privy access to what's going on above our skies. Are they keeping him mum in regards to some of his work in space? Because I know our president doesn't even want to acknowledge Elon Musk some of the time. Do you think Elon Musk could blow the whistle open on disclosure?
Elon Musk, I think he's not going to blow the whistle on anything because he's basically in the business of making money. And so he knows getting involved in SpaceX and all of these things is going to make money for him ultimately. That's what he's looking for. He's not looking to be a whistleblower for anybody, unless it's, against his business enemies like Twitter, something like that. That he would do. But as far as doing something to help humanity, I don't see that coming from Elon Musk at all.
It's interesting because Elon, he says a lot of things, and he's kind of remains a little bit neutral on the extraterrestrial existence, if it does exist. What do you think? Is Elon just kind of ascertaining this 100-year-old technology purposely when we know we have the propulsion that could much further humanity?
Well, I mean, there's quite a few people are saying, why is Elon using 100-year-old technology and not using state-of-the-art, where you can just, decide I'm going to go right there. You press a button, maybe you have a little thing in your pocket, and boom, you're there. He is a means to an end. I mean, he's there to make money, but I also get the strangest feeling that he may be a reincarnation of Nikola Tesla, because a lot of the things he's dealing with and working on are stuff that was near and dear to Tesla. And the other thing is he's working on energy storage capabilities. He just came out with a new type of battery that some company that he's invested in the company. They said you can charge a battery up and it'll stay charged for 20 years. And that's where he's headed. He's trying to not necessarily gut the petrochemical industry, but if he can come up with something like that, then he's going to be a hero to a lot of people, and he's also going to put a big, huge target on his back. Yeah, when you're taking away trillions of dollars in the wealth of a few key people in a few key industries, you're screwing with the wrong people, because they have the means to the end, and it would be tragic if anything happened to Elon. But I think if he keeps pushing the way he's doing as far as technology goes, he's making NASA look bad. I mean, if NASA would have had the first of their super jumbo, initially called the BFR, but when the first one crashed, number 9 crashed and number 8 crashed, whatever it was, he kept doing it. 2 weeks later, another one's going up. This one's coming down, it crashes again. But he figured out what the problem was. NASA would still be investigating what happened on the first screw up.
That's right. He doesn't care about his prototypes. He actually has fun kind of like seeing them crash and burn, but then that's how you figure things out, and he moves pretty quickly, liquid, as I'd say. Again, it's really good hanging out with you guys here in Arizona, and I know we've got a lot more things to discuss for our trilogy to Above Top Secret. We're working on it, but guys, it's been a pleasure. Let's start it off with you, Jim. What do we expect from you here in the near future? I hear you're working on a new book.
Yeah, my newest book, it's at the publisher right now. It is, my title is Rickover's Dream, the Nuclear Navy, and it's Nautilus to Columbia class. So I'm covering literally all of the 220 plus nuclear powered submarines that have been built in the United States Navy. And it's Osprey Publishing out of the UK is my publisher. They did my 75 years of the Lockheed Skunk Works, which I'm very proud of. That's been out a year, and it's in its 3rd printing, and it may be going into its 4th printing. So I'm really, really thrilled about that.
From spooky birds to submarines, pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, and people say, well, why are you interested in submarines? I said, they're black, they're stealth, and they're deadly. So it meets all the criteria of, for me to be interested in it. And it's sort of Yeah, we're going into space. We're going at Mach 3 with the Blackbirds, and they've been retired now forever. The ocean is an undiscovered area of interest. Who knows what is in the bottom of the ocean? Less than 5% of the ocean has been interviewed. I mean, has been looked at and explored.
A lot of mysteries down there.
Well, yeah, they keep coming up with brand new types of ocean-going creatures. I mean, they can't call them fish. Some of them are just really, really bizarre. And there's more and more reports about these Tic Tacs and these other craft going into the ocean or coming out of the ocean.
Transmedium craft.
Right. And it's just so the ocean is as deep and dark a secret as space is, and it's right in our backyard. Matter of fact, it's right in your backyard in Hawaii. But and I think we should be spending more time and more effort trying to determine what's on this planet versus which may or may not be somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, appreciate it. Thanks for this little discussion, little walk and talk. John DeSouza, what's in the future for you?
Well, I've got a couple of books I'm supposed to be writing, but I'm trying to get them going. But it's so hard with all the event. It's really hard because all the things I've written about in my previous book, The Extra Dimensionals, keeps on being fulfilled, and I keep on being drawn back into that book, that world, basically, because these things keep happening. They keep things that I predicted in my book, The Extra Dimensionals. And so it makes it really difficult to move forward with this other book I'm supposed to be writing with Trump's help, the help of his actions and things that he does. So that's where I am, and we're going to see what goes on for the rest of this year, because if we can all survive and thrive, I think we'll be doing really great.
Absolutely. John, appreciate it. Thanks for joining us right here at Third Phase of Moon. Guys, it's been a pleasure. If you've captured anything amazing out there, you know where to send it. My email is in the description. Something's happening in our skies, so make sure you contact Third Phase of Moon, Blake Cousins. We'll see you next time. Again, guys, appreciate it. Good being with you. Good seeing you. Third Phase of Moon. Good stuff.
Yep, always is. Ta-da.